All right. We're back here on another recording of Reasonably Hyped. It's been a little while, Dale. It's been a little quick minute. But the good thing is the fans of We Got Comms have had plenty of Deo to listen to. You've been on the last couple of episodes of Salient Points. We were just talking off the air that maybe we can kind of have you come on regularly on that show, So
I would love to.
Yes. And I will say we were trying to Twitter space this thing, so we're still trying to get there, or maybe YouTube Live or something. We want to get the community kind of in the mix, right? We want to kind of get their feedback here. But yeah, this is
engagement is key. Engagement is key.
Yeah, man. We definitely love the smoke. So the smokier the better. As you guys maybe have heard in the past. Well, look, I'm the host of this here fine program, Carlos Macias, and you heard the dulcet tones of Adeo Blas over there as well. Adeo, okay. I do want to apologize, man. I mean, 49ers, it looked like they were going far, but Jimmy G, man. Jimmy G, yeah. I apologize for, I know it's a sore subject. But look, on this episode of Reasonably Hyped, like I said, we've been away on hiatus for a little bit. It's pretty hot right now, man. It's pretty hot out there. Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion. And part of some of like the, we're just coming off of Microsoft buying Activision for almost $70 billion, and I know we said we wouldn't round up like that because $1 billion is a lot of money. So it was like 68.7 or something, right? So Sony buys Bungie for $3.6 billion, and kind of already, there's damage control. Sony comes out and or actually, I think a lot of it was like Bungie saying like, oh, we're not gonna go exclusive. It's gonna be multi-platform. It's gonna be like Destiny is gonna continue on everything. But at the same time, it's kind of like Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion. What did they get? What did they get, man? Like, did they really just buy marketing? Like, did they really buy, because they've had a marketing deal with them for the last couple of years, right? With Destiny first on PlayStation kind of thing. And I know I saw online, it's like, oh, it's for the revenue stream. Like, $3.6 billion for a revenue stream? But Dale, like, what are your thoughts on this, man? I got plenty to say, but let's go with you.
I was wondering the same thing too. It's just like $3.6 billion. I get that Destiny is a very large and loved community. I haven't been part of it for a while since the first game, but 3.6 billion is rather large. And since Bungie is technically a publisher, right? They own all the publishing rights.
Yeah, they self-publish. Yeah, they self-publish,
right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess that's worth it. But I mean, Sony, I think their planning was to get an acquisition for like at least a first-person shooter. Mm-hmm. They definitely need some sort of like live service. They don't have that equivalent within their portfolio as is. 3.6 billion though for that is like a lot though. I don't know. Yeah. It might be grossly overpriced, but hey, for Bungie fans, like old school Bungie fans, that's great because you get to see more of their work. Mm-hmm. Like I love old Bungie properties. Even before Halo, the Myth series.
I did see you tweeting about Oni or Ani. Apparently, it was a terrible game. It's a terrible game, but
the camera's bad.
There's a lot of bad camera work back in the early 3D gaming.
But like back in the day, this was like the year was 2000, and like anime characters weren't as from like a Western side. A publisher was pretty rare, so seeing that was really cool. At the time,
and it was on PlayStation 2, right? That was the weird thing, right? Like this was like. Well, was it pre Halo or
yes.
Halo? Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was the year before Halo, so it came out before that. But it was a smaller team. Like the main team that was working on Myth 2 went on to make some of the Oni stuff, and that game was published by Rockstar Games. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, even Halo first started as a Mac exclusive, right? It was gonna be a Mac exclusive game, and then Microsoft swooped in and was like, no, hold on, we kind of like what you're doing here. Put it on our fledgling our Xbox console here. But so it is weird, like how it's gone from. Bungie is so much of what Xbox was at the very beginning, where they kind of gave them Halo. They gave them like the biggest series they have. That we still play Halo to this day. I'm gonna play Halo Infinite actually in a little while. You're welcome to join us, Dale. But it's one of those things where it's like kind of how it comes full circle, or I guess things move on. It's Bungie was so tied in with Microsoft, and then they gained their independence. I think it was in 2009, and then just to get in bed with Activision, and then they kind of went away from Activision to do their own thing and then back to Sony. Which is funny because people are like, oh, they're the revenue stream, and it makes so much money, and it probably does make money. It makes enough money to sustain maybe the studio of Bungie. I
Right.
don't know how much it was of value to Activision, so much so that they were willing to sell the rights back to Bungie. And I don't remember hearing like they were like, trying to like get all this money or extort them from all this money to get their license back. From what I remember, it was like amicable terms. So it's like, okay, look, we don't make that much money off of Destiny anyways. We might have kind of bid a little more that we could chew. Here's the rights to Destiny. Take it with you. Take it with you, Bungie. Because come on, you don't give up the rights to a mega blockbuster. Like, imagine Activision telling Treyarch or Sledgehammer or whatever, it's like, take Call of Duty with you. It's fine. It's like, no, that's a big money maker for them to kind of do away with.
It's a big chunk of change. It might have been like a redundancy thing because Activision already had COD, and so they're like, "Oh, we're making tons of money off of this, so like maybe we don't need Destiny."
Yeah.
And Bungie, the whole studio in general, is kind of like they like their independence. Like they don't want to be like married to a certain publisher for extended long periods of time because they get tired of working on stuff too. So maybe it was like a very mutual beneficial relationship that they've started with Sony.
I think so.
I mean, they've had exclusive like DLCs on the PlayStation before, so maybe it started there, and they're like, hey, yeah, we do make a lot of profit there, and we have like a large community there, so we want to keep supporting that. Although there was some controversy on whether or not they're going to try to have the next Destiny become like a console exclusive for the PlayStation.
Which why not, right? Because right now, to be honest, I'm having trouble figuring like the angle for Sony here, especially if they're already like Bungie. Because I know some, I have a chat with some of my friends, and they were like, "Oh, they're doing the thing Microsoft is doing, and they're gonna go exclusives." Like, yeah, but the thing is with the Microsoft thing, I think they're more likely to kind of tie it into Game Pass as an exclusive of Call of Duty, and they have so many ways to go about it, right? They could say that on Game Pass, it's just the campaign. If you want the campaign, you got to go to Xbox. Otherwise, only the multiplayer on PlayStation, or as simple as it's quote unquote free on Game Pass on PlayStation. You will have to pay $70 for it, right? It's as simple as that marketing deal. But on the Bungie side, I mean, the fact that like Bungie's like, we're not going, we're staying multi-platform, we're doing this. So I'm actually thinking like they're the ones bilking Sony for this, because they gain some stability. They gain some, like, we have this huge infusion of cash. Yes, we're owned by Sony now, but I also, why wouldn't Destiny 3 be like an exclusive, right?
It should be.
Yeah,
it really should be. If they are working on that, that should be exclusive. If they're tired of Destiny and they want to like splinter off a smaller team and create like a brand new IP or work on an existing Sony IP, like I've been praising for the comeback of SOCOM. Like, I don't know if you played SOCOM.
Yeah, I think I saw you tweet about that.
Yeah, like that's a dormant FPS that was mega popular online for a shooter, and that's like one that I think that Bungie could help out a lot with the development on. For like not necessarily a free to play model or a freemium type of experience, but like that like premium online multiplayer suite. Like they could totally do it with that.
I think Sony gains a lot, right? They gain the expertise, they gain the kind of the philosophy. Bungie were the guys that were like 30 seconds of fun, right? It was like these shooters will be incredibly fun in short bursts of time. And I think Sony, and with the infusion of cash and the fact that these guys kind of respect their studios for the most part, you don't really hear like Activision style or Ubisoft style problems from Sony, right? Or their close partners or whatever. So, and Sony has kind of proven to be a little shrewd, I think. I mean, maybe you can give me another example, but the latest example I can think of is the fact that they bought Insomniac. I thought it was for 500, but I think you said maybe it was 300 million or whatever it was.
I want to correct that. It was 229 million, which is a deal. That is a huge deal.
So, I mean, if we're taking them like, okay, Sony knows what they're doing, which sometimes it's a little questionable, to be honest. But if we're saying they know what they're doing, they bought Insomniac for 200 million or 229 million, which is incredible. It's like, what are you selling studios for now, right? So
bargain.
3.6 billion, they turned that into a next like $50 billion franchise or something like that. So I'm excited in the sense that Sony just has a good culture of as far as like really high quality games, and I think Bungie maybe was looking for that kind of partner as well, right? They were looking for someone that's like, we know you guys
True.
believe in what we're doing, and thank you for that, because thank you for saving us, because I don't know if they were floundering, but it was definitely like, Destiny is kind of like they kind of are at the edge of their
It's a
seat, I'm
big
assuming.
gamble. Yeah, it was a big gamble when they separated from Activision, just
Yeah.
to become independent. It's not cheap out there. Like I'm sure when they absorbed a lot of the cost when marketing themselves, especially with their what was the last major expansion? I forget what it was called. But that was
Yeah, the Destiny Red War.
I
Well,
forget
that's
what
the
it was.
original Destiny 2, but yeah.
I forget
But
what
Beyond Light,
Beyond
Beyond Light.
Light,
Yeah.
yeah. So like there's I mean that's a huge marketing push like for a normal publisher alone,
Hmm.
but for them to take on that risk and everything,
Yeah.
it's I mean it's a huge deal. So maybe
Yeah.
yeah, seeking out PlayStation help is pretty good.
Do
I
you
did see
buy?
online.
Do you
Oh, go ahead. Go
buy?
ahead.
Do you buy that? I saw someone online was also saying that uh, this is part of the reason maybe why they're vaulting some content and they're doing away with it, just because the infrastructure of Bungie can't support it, and vaulting meaning they're doing away with
I didn't hear that.
which these next couple of weeks, to me, I'm actually playing some of the stuff that's gonna get vaulted, and but it's just seems. I mean maybe it does make Destiny better, because I am a Destiny fan. Like, I really enjoy Destiny. I'm excited
Mhm.
about the Witch Queen. So I know in the short term it might not do much, but I'm hoping in the next year and a half of Destiny, uh, that kind of matters. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. It might, right? Maybe they don't have the
I
infrastructure to keep, or maybe it's not popular enough also, in a way where it's like, we can't handle all this matchmaking across all these different activities. I don't know if you want to say something else on that, or whatever else you were gonna say, Dale, but
Yeah, I haven't played too much of Destiny 2. I know there was like vaulting issues when they would take away,
mm-hmm.
certain items and everything from players that they've like spent hours earning.
Yeah.
Um, but that does definitely kind of suck, to be honest. I don't know if they'll resolve that in the current game.
Mm.
Um, but we'll see for that.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
it's.
read.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna mention that like I did see like from PlayStation fans that they're kind of there's like a backlash against acquisitions like this. For one
Mm.
thing, I don't think a lot of I think a lot of old school players like the idea of consolidating all of these companies into like only like single digit umbrellas. Like
Yeah.
I think people think that it's going to be bad for the industry as a whole, which I could definitely see. We don't know what's gonna
Yeah.
how this affects the creativity of the games or anything
Yeah.
so far, but like I know there's a lot of Sony fans that it doesn't make sense why they would buy Bungie in general. Like a lot of them don't like that kind of pay as you go model for
Mm-hmm.
games or like the persistent online multiplayer type of games. They kind of like single player
Yeah, which
cinematic
is
experiences.
maybe a reason why Sony's like, we need that kind of game, that kind of
Right.
expertise. So I think in that way it could make sense, right? Because I think what have they tried really? I don't think they've really tried anything, right? There's been the Division, that's a Ubisoft game.
No, that's a
You know,
Ubisoft game. Like I don't
yeah,
remember like a big online push for them since like Mag for the
yeah,
PlayStation
or
3.
SOCOM.
You remember
SOCOM was
SOCOM?
another
Or
kind of,
SOCOM?
yeah, big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that was like a little bit more traditional. Like having Mag was a big one because you had like it was like 50
yeah.
persistent online players or something.
Yeah,
But
so it's definitely, it's an interesting move, and I think yeah, there is a concern as far as consolidation, because you can't all have it. Like, the thing is, the gaming industry has been like a three-pronged system, or a three-pronged, whatever you call it, right? It's been Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. So as long as we're kind of seeing volleys on both sides, with Sony is like, we're buying Bungie, Microsoft is like, Microsoft definitely has a leg up right now though, because Activision is just huge, right? Which they
yeah,
paid for it commensurate to that, right? Because they're like, we have to pay 70 billion, and now Sony's buying the Bungie for 3.6, which you think is about half of Bethesda, and Bethesda, you're buying several
yeah,
franchises with it, right? Because Sony is
right.
basically just buying Bungie. And I mean,
Yes,
they're basically buying Destiny 2 is kind of what they're saying, and the follow up, which I'm sure will be an exclusive. But we'll end it there, Deo. Real quick though, I mean, do we agree on this though, that Bungie basically got the better end of this deal, right? Or as
most
far as we can
definitely.
see, as far as we can see.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. They're definitely under that cozy umbrella for PlayStation now, so they
Yeah.
could go and do whatever they want to do, and be, have the safety in the back of their mind. They're able to be supported, because Sony is really good at supporting their internal
Yeah,
studios
I'm
anyway.
pretty excited about that too, right? And it's kind of
Hmm.
like it was Fortnite that brought them kicking and screaming, right? It's like you need multi-platform, so you know that
Yeah,
Sony
big
can be
time.
brought forward, kicking and
Yep.
screaming, of course. But yeah, for now, I'm pretty excited about the future of Bungie, and we'll see how this pans out, man. We'll definitely see how it pans out. But yeah, that's been another episode of Reasonably Hyped. I'm Carlos Macias. Thank you, Deo Blas, for joining me, and we'll see you guys
Thank you,
on the
Carlos.
next episode.
Peace
All right.
out.